Our founder, Pison Housing Company, Dr. Roland Igbinoba. Can we welcome him with another round of...
Whether you like it or not, regulation cannot happen without data. We have operated in a very opaque market for a long time. And this is part of the reason why Lasvira is engaging. So the question is, what is Lasvira planning to do with all the data? So beyond just trying to get you to be licensed, beyond the mitigating of natural disaster, there is a need to understand and dimension how the market operates. And move on to the next slide, please. And COVID has come to stay. And so with COVID, we learned a lot of new technologies. We learned a lot of new ways. We learned, it redefined our new normal. And so we cannot think that we will continue to do real estate business without technology. I know that there are always laggards at the end of the chain who don't want to get into technology or data. Go back to the next slide. Now, this slide becomes very, very important. What I'm trying to show with this slide is that across this value chain, whether it's access to land and up until maintaining the property, there is a data collection point. And this is what Lasvira is trying to achieve beyond just registering you, beyond just certifying you, is to know everybody who is in this business. And what happens when we have data at the back end? With artificial intelligence and machine learning, it means that as a developer, if you wanted to know even house price indices before you get into a development, you can get all of that information at the Lasvira portal. So this is why data becomes very important. Now, in post-disaster mechanism, next slide please. Now, I mean, all of you who are a project manager or managing disaster, you know that this is a framework that is used for disaster management and emergency management, right? You have the prevention, you have the mitigation, you have preparedness, you have response, and you have recovery. At each point of this framework, is a data collection point. If you do not have data, if you don't know what is happening within the real estate market, there is no way, for example, that government can help to provide even some sort of amelioration or financing for the people who are involved. And so it becomes very important that at the back of your mind, again, like I said during the panel session, data regulation is not about punitive measures. We cannot continue to be in the dark. You know, when they talk about transparency in real estate, next slide please. And so it's also very important. And so my work here, really, this afternoon, is to encourage everyone, based on what we have said earlier, right? That, I don't know how many of us can see the bottom of the presentation, is that we want people to register just so that we can continue to have data in the market. And once you have data in the market, it means that financing can become really, really easy, because investors don't want to operate in a dark environment where they can't see anything. What data does is like stumbling in the dark, and then you put on the light, you flick on the light, and immediately you see how things are disorganized. And that's what Lasvira is really trying to do by asking you to register and to power with them.